dealing with sensitive things in a sensitive situation at a critical time. We shoot from the hip because of one incident, one issue, thinking it's going to make someone perform or behave better. And we grab the knapsack and we jump on the plane. I don't know about you, but I don't come to work to fail. I don't come to work to be mediocre. I come to give my best for the right reason. And it doesn't matter back when I was mopping floors, dusting off furniture, or whether I'm working on a reactor cooling pump. It does not matter. I want to give my best. And I believe that everybody in this room wants the same thing, all right? Yes. You want to be the best. And there's nothing wrong with saying that you're of the best. And when Beaver Valley Power Station, we find ourselves high on the info index. We felt good about that because I was there 25 years ago and it wasn't quite good. It was a little ugly. We had to make change. And change is not easy. Change is not wanted. Change is not desirable. But unless you change, unless you're willing to change, keep on expecting what you're getting. Somebody said if you keep on doing the same thing, get the same results, then there must be something wrong with you. They said it's insanity. We want work. We want coaching. I know all these people. Everyone here. Just have to have our pictures. Right. Every last one of them want to be a good or the best. But it's not a matter of whether Beaver Valley is the best, whether Vogel's the best, Crystal River is the best. You know what matters whether the nuclear industry is the best. Whether we can dictate to the rest of the world that we are the best. When it comes to safety, when it comes to human performance, when it comes to delivering on a deadline, we are the best. And until we start coming together as a team, yes, things have changed. Deregulation came in and there was a problem. Everything's regulated, then all of a sudden deregulation came in. So we have to compete to see who's going to put bones in the grid to make money. But at the same time, it does not matter if you're not running, if there is no power station, if people are getting laid off, somebody has to make that call. See, every last one of those guys I care about. And I want someone to be able to have the courage to coach them into doing the right thing. And believe me, coaching isn't easy. If that was the case, we'd all be winning. Every last team would win because every coach would be great. But one of the biggest mistakes that I think we do is we get an individual that doesn't have the gifts and talents to be a head coach, but because of his background, his education, because of his married in the right family, his father's a VP, we put him in a coaching position and he cannot do it. It's not in his personality. That doesn't mean he does not have value. That doesn't mean he can't help us win. Even the ball boy has a chance. Someone must give out the equipment. Someone must dust off the turf. And I'm telling you that sometimes we must be selective on who's going to be the coaches. Don't send somebody else to me that don't have any idea what I'm doing. You think they're going to coach me into what I should do? What you just understand is put a little trust I had in him, and since you still don't have no trust in you. And those are the foundations for how we get things done. It's trust and respect. And there is no procedure for that. There is no program for that. There is no process for that. You can stack all the papers all the way up to the earth, and guess what? It's not going to make me respect you anymore. Something has to happen in our culture that cultivates a respect and a trust amongst individuals so that regardless of what the program is, we do it because, one, it's the right thing to do. Some of our past is kind of ugly. This is back when I was in school. We used to say, that's when the cat's away, the mice will play. That's what that is. That's the past. That's an ugly thing. Some of you remember that, right? Whoa, the boss ain't here today. Boy, we're going to have a good time today. We're just going to just sit it out. And even though he has rules and regulations, but he's not here today. So we're just going to get a Good Friday. we're all going to meet and sing karaoke, have a great time. I don't know where you stand at the present. You might be satisfied where you are. Some people are. Some people are satisfied being where you are. And you know the standard. And you say, I wear my safety glasses. I read and I circle slats of procedure. I wear my hard hat. I got my 2-minute drill card. I go through the pre-job brief and I add a little bit when I need to. And that's all right and good, and that gets us so far. But I don't know how it was for you, but sometimes when I'm sitting here going through the job brief, I'm saying to myself, do we have to go through everything? Do I really have to have a 3-inch thick binder work package to change out a pint of oil? Think about it. I have to go through all these stores, make sure everything's checked and signed, make sure everybody's is working ready to go, make sure the stickers are there, make sure all the updates are like they're going to press, make sure everybody has an understanding, make sure everybody reads through. Then I go out into the field and I take 6 minutes to drain the oil and put the new oil back in. I just spent 2.5 hours sitting down because the work package wasn't correct. There was some papers in there I've never seen before. How many times have you had, I don't know about you, but I've got work packages where they just put paperwork in there and nobody knows what it is. What is this? Well, it's the new FB plan. What's the new FB plan? Well, it's the new plan. I know it's new. What is it? Well, you just have to fill it out. Whoa, just fill it out. I don't even know what it is. You don't even know what it is. But it happens. What used to be a half-inch work package is now 3 inches thick. To change out a routine oil PM. Not to say that it's insignificant, but come on. Some are long line, we got to get better. Sometimes we have to trust me to build all the money that you spent to make me what I am today. You must trust that I'm going to do the right thing. I don't need another program. I don't need another package. I don't need 3 procedures, only one of which pertains to me, and then there's only 2 pages in it. Everything else is NA. Somebody's put a half-hour NA in things that I'm not going to do. Come on. Right? That I'm not going to do. Is it just me or is there something wrong with that? We're over-processed. I don't know. I'm going to tell you how it was for me. I'm going to tell you how it is from a worker's perspective about coaching. This is a true story. Kevin, I want you to go down to our intake structure. And I want you to put eyes on this valve. Make sure the functional location is correct. Come back, write it in the report of log that you've identified. Give us a kind of let us know where it's located so that the next person who gets the job won't have a hard time finding it. He didn't say touch it. He didn't say work on it. He didn't say clean it, paint it. He didn't say do nothing. He just said, Kevin, go to the intake structure, identify that small 3/4-inch valve. Know that that's the one we're going to work on. Put it in a whip log, how easy it is to get to it for the next guy. I did that. I went over and I stood. There was an empty wooden crate. This is a true story. There was an empty wooden crate standing right by me. I didn't touch it. I didn't look at it. I didn't do anything to it. Suddenly the door opens it. In walks, and I'm not going to mention any names, in walks a safety specialist, someone who's been in the industry for almost 40 years. A specialist, someone who's been recognized, got all kind of plaques on his wall. Got all I did this, got info training, went to Pitt, went to university, got all go in, he got all kind of pictures. Tell me, he must be a specialist in something. I thought, I have to read it. It's got to be something. Right? He walks in, and he walks right up to me. And he says, when you're handling that wooden crate, you should have your gloves on. Consider yourself coached.
No, it wasn't me either.
A true story. It didn't end there. He went back, wrote up an observation, turned it in the morning manager's meeting. They brought it up and made a big deal out of it, pulled my supervisor aside and said, you better coach this man on using his safety, on using his gloves, pull him aside, wrote a condition report up, and said the conditions was the crate was there and he needed gloves. 2 days later, a supervisor pulls me into a room. Says, Kevin, what did you do? What did I do? Okay, today, so far, nothing. 7:30. Well, no, that's not what I meant. It came up in the manager's meeting. The director said this. The manager said this. The superintendent said that. You were working down the NJ structure, fooling around with a wood crate, didn't have your safety gloves on. What? Then I had to think for a second. How did this happen? Then I thought, the guy that came in the room, the safety specialist. I said, listen, that's not what happened. This is what happened. I didn't touch anything. I walked in, I looked, I wrote down on a piece of paper what I needed to see, and I was getting ready to leave, and he walked in. No, he looked at me and said, that can't be true. I said, why? Because I'm saying it. I was the one that was there. I was the one that was saying, I'm the star witness. Right? I'm the guy. He said, are you telling me the truth? I said, absolutely. I don't know what he was talking about. Who was it? I can't tell you. Well, guess what? I know who it was. All right, I don't want to see if you knew. So he says, I'll take care of it, Kev. You're on my team. You're one of my guys. Comes back a little later on and says, we dealt with the bubble wrap situation. The bubble wrap situation. I'm thinking something totally different. Bubble wrap situation. The bubble wrap situation. What bubble wrap situation? We know why you handled the bubble wrap with the wood crate. Whoa! Wait a minute. What? Well, there was no bubble wrap. Well, don't worry, I've defended you because I said you didn't need your gloves handling the bubble wrap. But I didn't handle the bubble wrap. I didn't touch the bubble wrap. I had nothing to do with the bubble wrap. What don't you understand? Oh, no, it's already been dealt with, and that individual's been corrected, and he's going to approach you and apologize to you for the situation. But don't worry, bud. The bubble wrap thing is with me. It's good. Safety specialist wrote up a report that ended up on the MAON meeting, went all the way to the director, went all the way to the VP, came back, went through the entire EE organization, only to find out that none of the information they had was true. No one asked me! No one cared! So do I trust you? Do I trust you now? Did you just want to twist the system so somebody can kind of be right? Even though he was wrong? No one asked me, Kevin, what actually happened? Nobody cared. That's how it was for me. That's the coaching experience. So do you honestly think that guy coming to our plant for an hour? Now you honestly think his opinion matters to me? Come on. He's going to have to work for that one. He's going to have to really invest in getting truth and trust back. Because that's the way it works. What are you willing to invest in trust and respect? You know, we talked about all the programs and the processes, things that can get us to be better, human performance and safety. But ultimately, it comes right up to the line on the other side, you see trust and respect. And right there, we put it in our paperwork, when there's trust and respect amongst the employees, then you'll have this. When there's respect amongst individuals, you'll have that. But there's nothing telling you how to do this. But everyone in this room knows what this is. You know when you're trusted. You know when somebody trusts you. You've invested your life your name. And that person trusts you because you invested it. And now you've earned it. And because you trust and respect him, he trusts and respects you. So when you pull them aside for what I call correction, we like to call it discipline. Why is it not called the Department of Discipline? Well, they call it the Department of Corrections because they don't expect the people to go in and stay in. They want them corrected. So we want to say it's discipline. So when you do something wrong, what do? We pull your walls and say, that's not discipline. Oh, really? Really? If you had your qualifications pulled from you because of something you've done, how do you feel? Do you feel trusted? Do you feel respected? Everybody's probably seen them. Is anybody here from Georgia Power? Okay, you probably know more about this than me. But that's not the point. That's not what I'm trying to do here. What I'm trying to do is tell you, read this. Employee error led to an explosion in rock plant bomb on April 4th. The explosion happened as workers were shutting down the unit. No one was seriously hurt. People received minor injuries. Let's stop right there. We want to say that there has been no significant or serious injuries. Just some minor things. I'll tell you what. Again, 3 minor injuries. No significant injuries. John, you just go this. Miscommunication. That's all you have. Is that a friend? Miscommunication. I ain't trying to put you in the bus, but you know what I'm saying.
Thanks for coaching.
I don't want this. I don't want this. You don't want this. Nobody wants this. Nobody wants this. One thing I know for sure, there's a lot of things we might not agree on, but I guarantee you there's not a person in this room that wants this. We don't want this. You know, so many was no insignificant injuries. Yeah, maybe not physically. But just say this 2 minutes before you sit in one of the chairs. Meaning something that doesn't have an emotional impact on you. Something probably is going to take a long time for you to recover from. Yeah, there was a significant injury. A significant injury to the people who were involved in this incident, and emotionally they have to deal with this. Not just this on site, but the people with the community who trusted them. So nothing, I think, is ever in our industry insignificant. Everything is because of what we do. And we want it to be because we want it to be treated as such. Oxygen was accidentally used instead of carbon. I'm not a turtle guy. But my question is, okay, does anybody know that there's a different color between an oxygen tank and a carbon dioxide tank? Is it? I'm not a lover. Are the tanks a different color? There's at least a different sign on it that says this is oxygen and this is air. And they're labeled. So some other people must have known something. Which means there should have been some coaching somewhere. Some preventative things. See, we've got to get out of that always responding to things and getting to some things before it happens and say, well, let's make sure. Well, I've been in school for 5 years, but let's make sure. I've been a mechanic for 33 years. Let's check. Let's have a peer check and making sure things are set up right. Coaching could have prevented this. Coaching could have prevented this. Where was the coaching? Where was another set of eyes? Where was another thought? Where was a moment of taking a little time just to say, wait. You know this guy, he passed away not too long ago. Very, very smart gentleman. How many of you have read this book? So that means everybody in here is a millionaire. Is that what you're talking about? Everybody's successful and everybody. I only want you to look at one thing. The dependent state, I hope there's nobody in here that's ever involved in that right now. We move beyond that, not as an industry, when we move beyond beyond that because we are safety human performance specialists, and we're not there. Perhaps some of us right now, we're in that independent state, and that's where most of us are. We're independent. We're okay. We're able to move ahead because we're independent. So you see where this whole idea came from. But in the top corner, you see it says, seek first to understand, then to be understood. See, we got some people who are so smart, they think the only thing that they should say is the only thing that matters. You've been in the meetings. Be honest. Nothing you said ever really mattered. Somebody's so smart, they just want to be understood. They can hear from us whether you understand them. Go do it, go do it, go do it, go do it, go do it. Well, what about this? I don't care, go do it. Yeah, but I've had experience. The difference between that is humility. Placing myself on the same level as you. I'm the VP or I'm the manager or director, but you're the laborer and we're together because I'm seeking to understand you. Even though I know probably if we got this thing together, but I'm seeking to be you. And let you for a moment to be me because I'm listening to you. We're together now. So we get into a state of interdependence. A lot of people use this. It's called the Bradley curve. A guy by the name of Walter Bradley was pulled aside back in the 90s by DuPont to go and come up with this curve to gauge where you're at. The first interview we like to call the Safety Human Performance Dynamic Leadership Program. And this is what we're pushing for now. This was one of the ones I heard. I was one of the champions, and I didn't really volunteer for, but you know, somebody knows what I'm saying and understands how that works. But it says where CMOP was at in 2006. That's where supervisors can still hit the whip and crack you to do some things. But we all know this fear is a quick fix at best. Person doesn't, you don't mind, you know, Terry Tate can come up and tackle you and tackle you and tackle you and tackle you. Pretty soon you're going to go to a wire. And you're going to work it out. And you're going to get yourself together and you're going to wait until the next time he comes to tackle you and you're going to be ready. So it's only going to work for a period of time, the fear factor. We moved ahead now we're into the somewhat of the independent state. And these are principles I want to talk to you about. It says personal knowledge, internalize, personal value, care for self. That's where most of the people in this room, that's where we're at. But what about the excellence? What about the next one? What about the one that says you're the best of the best of the best? It creates something that just does not tangible in your hands. It's called interdependent. You know what it means? You don't have to like me. You ain't even got to love me. When I walk through that gate, I'm going to give you the utmost respect and dignity. I'm going to trust you because I trust that you're going to lean on me. And together as a team, we are going to make this the best organization there is in the world. We're not shooting just to be amongst the best. We want to be the best. And that requires some great some great help others conform. Who's going to really step out of your comfort zone and help somebody else? How can you have you're bringing it? I'm working here, I got my gloves on. You don't have your gloves on, but I don't say anything to you because we golf together. You're my buddy. You're going to go beers tonight. Plus you've been doing it for 35 years. God holds you accountable because you had your gloves on and you watched another one of your teammates without gloves. You didn't say anything. You didn't open your mouth. What is it that you're afraid of? See, what are you afraid of? Correcting someone. Being able to coach them. What are you afraid of? Isn't that what it comes down to? We might put it into the gifts and the talents to coach. I understand there's some things that come along with it. But in reality, what are you afraid of? I'll tell you what you should be afraid of. Having made that call to his wife after there was something you could have done, but you didn't do it. Now that's a scary thought. That's a fear that's real. Others keep or care for others. 200% accountable. You know what that means? I'm 100% accountable for looking out for you, and you are 100% accountable for looking out for me. And together we have 200% accountability. So I want you to get me out of trouble. I want you to coach me. I want you to point some things out to me. If anything's right or wrong, I still want you to come up to me and say, Kevin, I read an OE that this pay for what you're doing. It isn't that what you're doing is wrong, but here's some OE I got from David Spessy that may pertain to your job. You need to understand that. See, that's coaching, not finding anything right or wrong. That's good stuff. And all of us have that information, but we fail to pass it and share on. What are we afraid of? What's so scary about going up to a friend and telling them you care about their lives? And I'm telling you that this last one is the good one. That it drops back. If you're not willing to invest, then everybody in here is sometimes I'm probably lowest level person here in terms of where we are in Southern Bowl. But you know I like being here because I know spoiled you guys up. What are you willing to invest in to get the organization that you work for to realize that everything we do lies in the future? You want to know what's going to happen in the future, my friend? That was an excellent question, and it hasn't left me from the time you said it. Because we don't know what the picture of vision is for the future, then we are in trouble. One of the good books that I think that you might read says that if there is no vision, the people perish. We need a vision that says, yes, the industry is changing, and this is how we're going to do it. We don't need ideas floating around. We need to know exactly what we're going to do. One of the things we're doing is what's called engagement in retirement, bringing people back with knowledge and understanding, bringing them back into the workforce, saying, well, we didn't leave with all that information because we got a young group of people coming up who need that information. That's just one of the things we can do. But we have to trust them, and the young people have to trust us. We must be willing to build on trust. And so when we begin to coach each other in the field, you invite yourself. You open yourself. Let's face it, trusting is sensitive things. It opens you up. It lets people look inside. And you may have some things you're willing to hide, but in order to move forward, that's the only way you're going to get around that fear. Somebody asked me, say, why did you pick the 49ers? Well, I didn't pick the 49ers. I picked those two guys. Of course, Joe Montana's from Rainbow, right outside of Pittsburgh, but This is what you call coaching. He's not on the press box with binoculars. He doesn't have a clipboard. He doesn't have paperwork. He's not flipping through his card. Let me see. 2-minute drills. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm saying to get to the big game, to be the best, it required for him to do this. And this is the dialogue that went on between these two. They needed to win the game. And Bill Walsh, who's like known as the architect of the West Coast offense. Everybody thinks the West Coast offense is designed to throw balls all the way down the field, 30, 40 yards. No, it's not. The West Coast offense is designed to get 4 or 5 yards. That's it. The defense thinks that if I hand it off to a runner and he gets 5 yards, he beat us. If a tight end slants in and I throw it to him and he gets 5 yards, the defense says, we stop him. It's still 5 yards. Before you know it, you're inside the 20-yard line and saying, how do we get it? We've been stopping them all along. It's a deception in their mind on how they see things and how it is with us when it comes to coaching. We have to understand it's how people perceive us. The way you approach people, the way your mannerisms, the way you look, the things you say, the confidence about you, and the time to show whether or not you should approach it. If you're not ready for that, then that's not a coaching time for you. Bill Walsh gets down on me. And he says, Joe, I have this plan. I believe in work. We've never run this before. I want you to take a look at it. If we can do this, we'll win the game. I believe, Joe, that you can do this. I believe, Joe, that the play will work. What do you think? what do you need? Joe Montana simply says, Bill, if you believe that I can do this, then I will do this. We will win, and we'll be on our way. I trust you. I trust you. Needless to say, after that pass was in the air, Dwight Clark caught it in the end zone. As one of the linemen was crushing and slamming Joe Montana down to the ground, he looks Montana in the eye and says, "You just beat America's team." And Joe says, "Well, you can sit home just like the rest of America because we're going to the Super Bowl." I hope the delay anyway didn't take away the idea that coaching is the future of this industry. I'm a true believer that this is the greatest time in the history of this industry. We have challenges, but those challenges are what's going to make us great. It's the challenges that we hear about, the lack of money, the lack of this government not working right. Government never worked right. Right? That's it. It never did. So why are we expecting it to now? Remember when President Eisenhower said, "The S-54 plant will make us so electric